Welcome to the farm.
Hey guys, Dana with Just Kate's Day Farm. Welcome back. So I'm going to be looking into my hoop houses that I built last fall. I did open one of them. As soon as I opened it up, put my head in there, my glass is completely fogged up. So by the time I did that, air's gotten in there. So I'm kind of going to open this one up, use my little kitchen thermometer, and just see what the soil temp is without having any cold air kind of cool it off already. So let's take a look. Woo, is it warm? Apparently soil temp is not as warm as the air temperature, but feeling the top of the soil feels quite warm. So yeah, 60, almost 64 degrees at more like the surface. Air temperature, oh, I can't see with my glasses. Close to 65 degrees, and that is middle of March in Wisconsin. All right, so we checked the temperature of the soil in the hoop house. Now we're going to take the temperature of one of our raised beds that hasn't had any like straw or hoop house over, or anything helping to insulate this soil. So we're going to see what this outdoor soil temp is. Oh my goodness, look at that. So it's like 41 degrees outside soil temp, where the soil temp in the hoop house was what, 63, 64 degrees. So huge difference. So very hopeful that the hoop house will have a great germination rate for my seedlings to naturally harden off and plant in the garden. In our hoop house here, I did have carrots planted here. I had some broccoli, spinach, celery. None of it did really grow last fall. I was trying to grow vegetables starting in fall in the hopes that this would act as a root cellar in a sort, so I could harvest during the winter. Fortunately, that did not work, but now I learned. Cool thing that happened though, after opening this hoop house, I don't know if you can see it, right here, this greenage here, are spinach seeds that I planted last fall. So they are just coming up now in the middle of winter in Wisconsin. I don't know how long or how big they're gonna get, if they're gonna be able to harvest, but very cool thing that I experienced and we'll learn from. So today we're going to work on planting some of our more cold root crops, see how they kind of germinate in here, and then as temperatures warm up, we'll remove this plastic and let them kind of do their thing. So today I'm going to do some beans. So we have the traditional green beans, we got purple beans, red beans, great for our stews in the winter. Other than that, I really don't eat them. We also have carrots, so we use carrots all the time, especially in our chicken noodle soup that we make a lot of. Got some celery, some red beets, which I also really don't care for, but they're super good for you, and I blend them up in our Ninja blender and make smoothies with them, along with fruits and sweetness. Then we have carrots, these little stubby little things, which are kind of cute. They don't really give you a whole lot, but they're cute looking and different. And then I also have some purple carrots. So we'll get those planted into the soil here. And then I'm gonna do in my little pots, all these little pots I'm gonna use. We're gonna do some pie pumpkins, some Cinderella cool looking pumpkins, which Cadence should love, and more pie pumpkins. In the winter, we do make a lot of pumpkin breads, pumpkin muffins, so pie pumpkins are quite important on the farm here. So we'll plant these in the little pots, because that way they'll start growing, and then I can transplant them in the summertime to their actual location. There was a year that I planted pumpkins in a raised bed, not planning ahead that they spread out and take up a lot of space. So I had pumpkin vines going everywhere, trying to manage them, so it was a lot of work and not fun. So I'm gonna park them in my little pots. That way I can plant them where I want to plant them once we figure out what area we're gonna plant them in. They will not be in a raised bed. So let's get going here. So I think we're gonna do our little pots here first. Pull these all out. One of my longer term goals is to, every year I try and say, okay, I'm gonna plant a whole bunch of seeds, and whatever doesn't fit in the garden, I'll sell them. I'll sell my little starters. And somehow every year when I try to harden off my seedlings, because I start them usually inside the house, let them grow, and then take them in the house, out the house, in the house, out the house. During that process, I kill off a lot of my plants. So I've never been able to sell the plants that I grow because I kill them off and I need those backups. So I'm thankful that I had all those backups because it worked out for me. So maybe doing this winter sowing type process and having the seeds naturally harden off, maybe this will be my year where I can actually sell some of my seeds, my plants that I've started from seeds. We'll see. One can always be hopeful. So, don't know how many I'm going to make. I usually don't have a plan of how many things I'm going to grow. Like if I'm going to grow like 10 pumpkins or 5 pumpkins or whatever. I just plant whatever. I figure plant more because I'm probably going to kill them off. So I have backups. So I think we got some good stuff here. So let's go. We have what, 6, 8. We'll start with 8. So we'll get our pie pumpkins. And I've read places that say always sow like 2 seeds in each little pot, so if one doesn't germinate, you have the other one. But for me, when both seeds germinate and then you gotta pull that one little seed out and toss it away, I don't like doing it. I feel like I'm killing a plant that I took how long to get to grow and nurture it and such, that I just plant one per pot, and if it doesn't germinate, well then I got extra soil to put back in the garden. So we'll do these pie pumpkins. Stick these little guys in here. It looks like we only have 6. We got 6 pie pumpkins. So we'll do those. And I forgot to bring down my little tags, so we'll just use a little empty label. Put those in here. I'm really excited to see how this hoops house does with starting my seedlings. It really will help with the hardening off period because I have such a hard time with that. I'm kind of impatient when it comes to hardening them off. I don't leave them outside long enough, or I leave them outside too long and then I forget to put them out the next day. So that whole process just doesn't work for me. Alright, so what we got left? Let's do some Cinderella pumpkins. Last year I planted some of these. I honestly don't know if they germinated or if those were other pumpkins that germinated, but I think these look so cool. They remind me of the Cinderella pumpkin like you see in the Cinderella story, where it's this kind of ovalish pumpkin and turns into the carriage. So I think Cadence would really find those cool. So I hope they germinate this year, or I can at least get 1 pumpkin to harvest. That would be nice. Something a little bit different, not just always your round jack-o'-lantern style pumpkins. Alright, nice and loose. Cinderella pumpkins. And we have only 5 of these left. I really didn't buy any seeds this year. Justin and Cadence gave me some seed packets for my birthday this year. So I do have a couple additional seeds, but the seeds I have in the house, I have a lot. So I'm trying to use them up before I buy more, before they go bad. So, alright. And then we'll set these off to the side. Clean out some of these. We had weeds in March. Pull some of these weeds. And we'll plant some beets, red beets. Only reason we do is because I like putting them in smoothies, get my vitamins without maybe actually tasting it. So I'm sure this package says, what does it say? Plant 1/2 inch, 3 inches apart. I don't do that with deep beets. I just sprinkle them in, and as they come up, the weak ones I'll pull out, the strong ones I'll let stay. So sprinkle it with some dirt. There was, I think 2 summers ago, I had a pretty good beet harvest, and I came across a recipe for the beet leaves, which was so good. Is you rinse them off, you put them on a baking sheet, spray some olive oil or whatever oil that you use, spray it on there, and then sprinkle it with some garlic powder, some salt, and then you bake it in the oven. And I can't quite recall if it was high temperature or low temperature. I think it was low, but I'm not positive. And you bake it in there, and for I think 25 minutes or 30 minutes, when it comes out, it's crispy, so it's a beet leaf chip. And it just kind of crumbles. It kind of reminds me of, what is that, seaweed chips that you can get. It was super tasty, and it was great because I used the entire beet. I used the beet root for my smoothies, and then the beet leaves as a little snack with chips. So hopefully we can do that again. So I'm going to use these little sticks I have. They just came from our wood chip path we have in the garden. Just kind of mark off here that it reminds me when I come in here that I have seeds planted here, so I don't pull the dirt up or anything. Now I think we're gonna do maybe some of these, what are they called? Parastine, Parazine, I don't know how you say it. It's these little fat, round carrots. Last year I got a couple of them harvested, not too many. It was just kind of nice to pull out a carrot that you weren't expecting. It wasn't something you were expecting. Usually you pull out a carrot like, yep, it's a long carrot, it's orange. This was just kind of a nice little surprise. These round, fat little things. So you pull it out, and it was nice. It was something different. And these seeds are actually really different compared to like your traditional long, skinny orange carrots. So I don't know if you can see this on the camera. I don't know. They kind of look like little gumballs, or a little green, or a little white. I don't know. Candies. Little fish eggs or something. So we'll sprinkle these right in front. I think I'm going to put them in front here so I can monitor them and water them a little more easily than putting them like all the way in the back there. So again, sprinkle them around. And this is something you actually just like sprinkle around like that, are carrot seeds, because they kind of grow wherever, and as they grow, you thin them out. I think it's usually like 3 inches or something like that. 2 to 3 inches, you thin them out. For whatever reason, that doesn't bother me, like throwing a little piece of carrot, pulling it out and like killing it. Maybe because I take the little carrot greens and I feed them to our chickens. So it's not like I'm really wasting it. I think we're gonna try some celery next. I've been trying to grow celery for a couple years now. First couple years I had zero success, like nothing even germinated or anything. Last year was the closest I got. I think I had a little stalk, like 1 or 2 little stalks that came up like this. They were really thin, kind of palish in the color. They weren't really crispy. I know as they grow, like you want to like tie them up, put like a net or something over them. Didn't even get to that phase of growth, so didn't research it. So we're gonna try celery again. We actually use a lot of celery here on the farm. We put it in every soup we make, stew. I put it in my chicken salad that I make, and just a nice little snack the way it is. So really want to get celery to go and get it to grow. Even though I know it's not like expensive to buy in the store. Organic's a little more expensive, but all part of being self-sufficient. Trying to grow everything without relying on outside sources. That is the goal. So I think we're just gonna sprinkle celery right over here, kind of just see what happens. I know it probably comes off like I am doing all of this with no rhyme or reason. And really I have no rhyme or reason. But this is all experimenting. That's how I'm approaching the hoop houses. Total experimentation. Seeing what goes, what doesn't. Hey look, a carrot! Another carrot. These are from last fall. Kind of pale yellow, so they didn't get orange, but cool. So these hoop houses are total experimentation. I'm just learning, figuring things out, seeing what works, what doesn't, and having fun with it. So we got celery, we got the little fat carrots, we got our beets, we got our Cinderella pumpkins, and we got our pie pumpkins. So I think that's kind of what I can fill up in this area here. So I'm not going to open up this hoop house every day because I want to be able to have all that heat and condensation that's all accumulating on the plastic here. I want to keep that in here. So I hopefully have a good germination rate. Things will grow. Keep it warm in here. Soil soft. So I'm going to probably move on to planting more further into the hoop house. Again, experimenting, seeing what works, what doesn't work. I hope you found this interesting. Kind of my experimentation here for the garden house. Trying to be as self-sufficient and learn as we go. It's kind of another thing. No one's a gardener in my family at all, so literally I'm learning as I go. Every year I'm expanding and learning and diving headfirst into trying everything. So I hope you found this interesting. If you liked it, please subscribe to the channel. We have so many fun things coming up this summer. More animals are coming, new things that we're going to be building, learning, and we would love to share all of this exciting stuff with you and maybe even learn some stuff from you guys. If you have any comments or insight, tips, tricks, leave them in the comments. We love to hear from you, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you.